What I'm saying is that I'd rather give these TV shows and this content and these licenses to people that are passionate about these projects and that respect it. Like, it's so short because I don't.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of the show. I'm just.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm certainly not.
It's not my thing.
Yeah. What episode is this? What is this like? It's got to be like 1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't know.
6? Episode 6.
I've not been counting them. I'm probably gonna have to edit them and recount them.
You're like, I don't
on
even remember
YouTube.
the numbers.
It's like, oh wait, I haven't been doing that.
I don't remember the numbers.
Oh wait, I want my Coke. This Diet Coke. The aspartame is what I desired.
POV.
Oh my god. So we got the new studio set up.
Yeah, dude. Okay. So I just want to say real quick, when you sent me the photo of this on text message, I was like, yo, bro. Yeah. You were like, I got it set up. And I was like, okay, he's got it set up. It's probably going to be pretty good. Yeah. Like I'm excited. And then he goes, here's a photo. And I was like, you guys can't even see it right now. But so we got a black tarp right here, green backdrop, right? Self-explanatory. But then he brought out these lawn chairs that, like, watch this. Ready? I'm relaxing, chat. Chat, how do you even relax, bro? I'm relaxing right now.
I've thought of everything for this.
I'm pretty relaxative right now. And then you just, bro, it's so nice. So yeah.
One of the things I'm like working on here is that I'm also using this space for motion capture because I do 3D on the side. Or actually, 3D is my main thing. Podcasting is kind of a side gig for me.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But yeah, no, we're setting up things slowly. I'm actually getting more box lights. That's still on the way. 2 mics. We actually have 3. And we're picking up some more because last time sharing the mic didn't really seem to work out like as well as we thought it would. Now we can just interrupt each other.
Oh yeah, all the time.
All we want. You know what you're talking about?
Do you know what you're Source? Trust me, bro.
So
Trust me,
today's episode, we need to cover the Halo Season 2 race in Episode 4. Connor, how did you feel about this new episode?
How do I feel? First, let me just say, we're both fitted today, so this is going to be an extra spicy one. You see Gabe right here. He's got the Levi's trucker jacket with the clean jeans, undershirt, and he's got, bro, show the kicks, bro. Look at the kicks. No imperfections. Fresh as you know. Okay, so
only for this cast.
We got that burnout Air Forces that look like they went through a Second World War. And then I got shout out to my man
how does
Titus.
This answer the question about
hold on. Shout out to my man Titus, 30 Plus Clothing. I love the beanie still, and I'm wearing it for you. Anyway, how I feel about the episode. It's just how I felt about this entire show. It's the same thing over and over. It's Halo, but it isn't Halo because every time that Master Chief is on screen, he's John 117.
Yeah.
And it's so bad. This episode in particular where they finally just said the quiet part out loud. Oh, there goes my phone. They finally just said the quiet part out loud, and they were like, when Captain Keyes is giving his speech, and they're like, well, yeah, tonight, Master Chief, you know him as Master Chief. His name is John 117. He's fighting with us tonight, and he doesn't need his armor to be a soldier. And it was like, or something like that. And I was just sitting watching this episode like, what are you talking about? What do you mean?
The armor is supposed to be a representation of symbolism, like this symbolic hero. And I get that they're trying to push that more toward the human aspect of the Halo franchise.
Which is so stupid.
I agree. For so Halo, stupid. I don't agree with that direction, but whatever. It's kind of Paramount's thing. The speech from Captain Keyes, like, okay, I get what they're trying to do. I get it. This is a reboot. They've officially established this episode for me did a lot more than what all of season 1 ever could. It established the direction that they're trying to go.
And it's still not as good. It's still not good.
Great, though. I'm not saying it's the best thing ever, but it's
like you finally found your it's like, oh, I finally found where I'm going in the middle of this forest. And it's like, you're still stuck in a forest.
Yeah.
You're still going into a forest.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
So to keep this on pace, I want to talk about how the series has started from its season 1 to season 2 and its pacing and direction. Because
God,
like I've listed earlier, this is a step in a new direction for the Halo franchise. They are not looking to retell the old story. They're looking to tell something entirely different.
But I think I would disagree, though. I think they are. But a lot of things that I've heard is that this is technically a prequel series to Halo Combat Evolved, the first Halo game, which is where Master Chief discovers the Halo ring. And they already said it's a silver time or whatever. It was a silver timeline or whatever. It's just a clever excuse for you to get away with not telling a real Halo story. Anyway.
Yeah. There's so I think the reason why I say this episode does the most, right? Other than what season 1 established with Mackie and Quan, like trying to go in a new direction with those two characters. Yeah, the love interest being rushed. We've mentioned that before. And partially incest because they said that they shared the same DNA.
Which is so okay. Which is so weird.
I haven't dropped that. Like Mackie and Chief love interest, like that's disgusting. As far as I'm concerned, they're just siblings.
I would like to talk with every person that's either at Paramount or in Hollywood in general. What is your fascination with making something that is subhuman in a sense, right? This is an augmented human being, a super soldier. What is your fixation with trying to make the main character of all these different IPs human and be able to experience emotion?
Well,
he's a Covenant killing machine. Just have him kill stuff.
They need to respect these kind of
the source
materials that these franchises come from. Because Chief was supposed to be the armor. And even Pablo, I think he just put out an interview recently.
Pablo Schreiber, right? The actor?
The actor of Master Chief. He even said, like, in the games, the armor and the suit was meant for something to be where the player can inhabit, and it's kind of like, in a sense, their story. Yeah, well, no, he's right about how that's how they originally designed the game. That's why he barely spoke. In the TV show, I still think that they could have ran with that.
Which is so weird, because, like, here's the thing. Even if that was the original developer's intention, they could have changed it whenever they wanted to. Yeah. And said, like, well, now he's more of a soldier. But it's stuck. It's his character. He doesn't have to be a normal person for you to be able to understand him. The Halo fan base as a whole, all of us, we understood Master Chief perfectly fine throughout 3 different video games.
Yeah, Chief is already kind of like an established character, and trying to reestablish him from groundscape origin, or if that's even a term.
Just trying to reestablish him at all.
From ground zero to a retelling of Chief's story for a broader audience, I feel like they just could have just retold the story of the Halo franchise.
You could have retold this story verbatim and had all of the entire original core fan base that you claim are so few eating out of your hand.
Yeah. Let's move on to episode 4 and just kind of the new direction that this really took us in. So here's why I say episode 4 is the new direction. And we all know why that is. It's killing Captain Keyes. That moment is when I really looked and reflected. Took a moment to reflect on everything that's been going on. It's like, nope, they killed Keyes. He's not going to assimilate into the Flood in a later timeline unless they somehow bring him back in a later episode. I don't know.
For whatever reason,
he survived the fuel leak.
Yeah, they brought McKee back. I'm saying your name is Make. It's spelled the exact same way with an extra E on the end. Shut up.
So, killing Captain Keyes. This really is solidifying the new timeline to me. All of season 1 couldn't do that. Just simply because it's like it just seems like introduction of new side characters, like anything could happen. Killing Captain Keyes, that is literally making the first Halo game obsolete. Or not obsolete, but
you're just killing core characters for no reason.
Well, yeah. We now don't know the direction. I think that's the appeal to it at the same time. Like, I don't know where Halo's going to go from here. Keyes is dead. The first game is not going to take place exactly the way that it was foretold in the games.
Yeah, and also this entire thing of them discovering the ring, as far as like all leading to this moment of them kind of figuring out that the Covenant is after them. We have to get there first, and it's like, okay, Chief discovered the ring by accident. And he was thrown into the lion's den of a conflict that he had no idea was how vast and scaled how big, right? Even after Reach. But then you guys just kind of, they already knew about the ring. They already know. And it's like, it's just, they could have just made this a Halo ODST storyline, and it would have been magnificent. Take all of the original characters out, make it ODST, have Nathan Fillion in the lead role. You would have had an amazing series. But instead, we got to take Master Chief and put him in all these weird different situations and change all the canon, even though it's a silver timeline, simply because
that's a really
I don't know why.
Interesting take. So you think that this whole series should have been ODSTs?
Could have been ODST. You could have, for once. Here's my problem. Why are we focusing on all the humans in this Halo series? The humans have never been focused in any Halo series ever. They've always just been a supporting role, right? You could have taken this opportunity to do it from the human perspective and have them, maybe one of the humans, climb to the rank of an ODST in an unforetold, like, unseen, this has never happened before. You could have done that and had an amazing storyline. But instead, we've just got to recycle old IPs. We've got to keep the main characters, and then we've got to corrupt all of it because I don't know why.
We can do it better. This franchise is really getting mixed opinions as it's being told. The people who have played the games, and if you look in the comment section just in general, like, nobody is enjoying this timeline. Nobody that's a fan of the franchise that has been there since the first game is a fan of this franchise.
It's that whole misconception because even the original showrunners were like, well, we want to expand it for a broader audience.
And actually, that's what I was getting to next is because the broader audience, like, even their experience, their ratings might be a little higher, but the franchise isn't like a 10 out of 10 legendary something to remember. This isn't a Game of Thrones. This isn't like...
Oh, for the TV series?
Yeah, for the TV series.
No.
Yeah, so even the broader audience, like, I don't... Well, at least in my personal experience, I don't see that many reviews praising the series as something greater. It's more like, it's another sci-fi show.
It's literally become Space Walking Dead. That's what it's become for me. Because... And anybody who's ever watched this and knows, like, a little bit about The Walking Dead, I've watched a little bit of it. I know enough and have done enough research on it to know that it's just like just about every other show on TV, because it can't do big action, it falls into this dramatic back and forth trope of having these characters get into these dramatic shouting matches with each other to convey some sort of battle because you don't have the budget to be able to actually make a real battle happen. And I will give it to the VFX artists, everybody that's worked on that Halo series show. You guys are badass.
And let's move on to the VFX portion.
Yes.
For this episode, because this is where I think it does everything badass. This is where I wanted. This is what I've been wanting to see from the Halo TV show for a long time. The action sequences in season 1, like, to me, they don't top. All of those scenes don't top this cutscene in the Fall of Reach.
Yeah, they're okay.
It's not the best action that I've seen in Hollywood.
Well, I mean, they're working on a silver screen budget. But I mean, what I would say is there's definitely, even though I hate the show a lot, I will give credit to whoever thought up the scenes, and of course, the VFX artists, because we all know that you guys are underpaid and overworked. But I will say, like, there's definitely been a couple of scenes where I'm like, okay, this is badass. What's it doing in this TV series?
So, I think, what was it? Every episode costs roughly $10 million to make. So, I don't want to actually say that it's a silver screen budget. It is an expensive franchise, and these big franchises are only getting more and more expensive.
I guess it's more like an HBO limited series then, in terms of its budget, right? Because like HBO always goes all out on a lot of their big projects. So
to me, the money is already really inflated. I would say that the show looks appropriate for its price range. Because it looks like the VFX artists might be actually getting paid proper. At least I hope that they are.
I really hope you guys are. If you guys are or aren't, let us know, please. Comment.
I have a guy coming onto the show that's... There are opinions from OG developers about this franchise and the direction that Halo's gone since Bungie. So I'll, drop that little hint. Anyways, the VFX and direction, the fight sequence between Chief and that one Covenant elite was super cool, in my opinion.
Was it that the final scene or the beginning one?
The beginning one. The beginning one.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
The final scene, I actually have problems with.
I was gonna say,
I actually have a huge problem with the final scene.
Are we having like a weird sort of Arbiter reveal? Is that what's going on with this I swear.
This isn't Thel Vadam or Thel Vadamine. This is a different Arbiter character.
This is a previous Arbiter.
I have a gut feeling that this one's gonna die, and then they're gonna reintroduce.
And Thel Vadam will become the current
Arbiter
that we all know. And maybe, yeah.
Something's telling me that the direction of Thel Vadam being an Arbiter is not going to be like. It's not the same role of what the original Arbiters were in the games, right? Where it's like a fallen soldier that was elite, but they don't want to lose him, so he becomes kind of like this Jackie for the Prophets.
Yeah, I mean he failed. Yeah. He failed to stop the destruction of one of the Halo rings, and so it's become kind of like this. He goes through basically a tribunal of it's kind of like reminiscent of like biblical trials almost. Like they kind of put him through all this stuff, and it's like I really hope that maybe we can get some semblance of that. I mean, if you're gonna sink a ship, at least have some cool parts about it.
I'm calling it now. I think this Arbiter is gonna die, and I think they're gonna introduce Thel Vadam from there and promote him to Arbiter role. So I don't think the Arbiter role is a symbolic, shameful role. I think it's like a role of honor in this timeline. I don't know, but I do want to cut back to the first engagement scene with that elite that Chief has. Like, talk about the sequencing, the proper fight scene, like the way that they choreographed everything. I really want to know how they captured all of that. Chief really looks like an augmented human fighting this big alien elite.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that like for that scene in particular, I'm always going to give it up to the VFX artists. I think it was really done. I think when they want to do action, they know how to do action.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that it kind of falls back to like, you know, it goes to like the showrunners. At least for me, it seems like the showrunners are like, oh, well, we know how to write drama scenes, but that's as far as our stupid education takes us. So why don't you guys come in here and show us what an action scene looks like? And all the VFX developers are probably people that either worked on the Halo series or have affiliation with the Halo series through different developments and different VFX departments and different jobs. So, I mean, they make it look amazing. The choreography, especially, I mean, just to get off that, there was one scene in the first episode of this second season. I don't remember what the planet's called. I didn't really pay enough attention to it. I didn't really care. Anytime that Master Chief is, like, not on screen in a big way, it's kind of just like a letdown. But there's this one scene where he's basically, like, saving a squad of the UNSC Marines, and it's down to one last Marine, Perez, and
that sequence was dope.
It was dope, and then it was like, what's going on? Because here's the thing. Here's what was dope for me is when the elite comes up out of the fog and ignites the energy sword, and then you see like 20 other of them ignite the energy swords, and I'm like, oh, for once this show's getting really interesting.
Yeah.
And then they were like, nah, we're gonna leave. We're gonna get out of here.
We're leaving.
Yeah, and then they properly, in this instance, glass a planet, which I thought was really cool. And then I'm just going to put this over here, quick caveat. During the invasion of Reach, they don't glass Reach.
Well, this isn't the I think this is the beginning of the fall of Reach. I don't think that
Hopefully.
I think that the next episode they're going to go really I hope that they go more ham into the depiction of the Reach.
Please.
Getting glassed.
Please do it.
I think that'd be a really cool direction to see. I hope that this is not the only episode where it depicts the fall of Reach. I think that would be a huge disappointment. Especially
that would really suck.
Reach only seems to have a city on it, and that's it. It doesn't seem like the whole planet is occupied, but I can't tell.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. Yeah. It's just I'm going to bring it back up. Master Chief is out of his armor for like the entirety.
This really bothers you.
The entirety of the second, and they still get his entire personality wrong too, because he starts becoming this like confused, emotional being, and he's like, "Who am I? Where do I go to find myself?" And it's like, okay,
I think I'll dig into what the series should have been.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, we understand that he was taken as a child. He is an augmented, superhuman Covenant killing machine. I do not need you to expand upon his emotional journey. Have him kill the enemy and have him be the unstoppable force that he was in the original Halo series. Because if you look at any confrontation, even in the what was it, the Halo 4. I can't remember the commander's name when he's in the control room with Cortana and they're like, "Give me back that chip."
Oh gosh, there's Captain Lasky and then there's.
I think it was no, it wasn't Lasky.
It's not Lasky. It's the old guy. I know who you're talking
give
about.
Give me that chip. And Master Chief is basically like, or what? And it's like, oh, I forgot George Martin. You know, and it's like there's none of that in the series.
He's like literally a walking legend. But yeah, no, the series is obviously not the games. It's not the games.
But it's like, even if it's trying to be on a silver timeline, like, you can't even take his original parts of his personality. He doesn't need to be molded into something. He is a leader.
It does kind of bleed into the next segment because, like, this episode seems to have these ramp-ups and slow-downs.
Very much so.
I did not need the coin toss story. Yeah, when he was like when he randomly brought up, like, oh, I guessed it 10 out of 10, I was, like, thinking to myself,
what are you even what is this even doing here?
Where did this conversation come from? Like, I don't know how we even led it up to that. Like, the city is being invaded by Covenant. And we're gonna,
like, let's act out a drama scene right now.
Time I like flipped a coin and I guessed it 10 times on the dot.
Yeah, by the way, I was chosen for this role. That's why I'm a maroon pilot with only one arm.
I'm like I didn't need that. You should have established this in season 1. I thought you did. Dude, I thought that they did. Dude. I thought they did. Yeah, because they went to the episode of Homecoming, and that's when they introduced the coin toss.
But it's also like,
yeah, it's just pointless banter, and then it goes into this ancient humanity antique shop, and the antique shop.
There is so many unneeded scenes in this series.
I didn't need
oh my
any
god!
Of that. Look, I don't care for the old Xbox in the shop.
Dude, okay, controversial.
I didn't care for it.
It's so funny. It's like, you got the Xbox in there. Oh my god, thank you so much. Thank you, fan service. Too bad you couldn't make a good TV show. That would be cool. You know how fan service works, but you don't know how to do a TV show.
Yeah, but this show isn't that great, so the fan service doesn't matter.
Exactly. It doesn't matter because the show doesn't matter. And here's all it was that scene with the antiques collector lady, and then it was the other scene on that previous planet where I saw the really cool
We don't value anything anymore.
Well, and they were like, we've been taken from our planet by you, and we've been displaced all through the galaxy. We're not leaving our home again. And then the second they start glassing the planet, they're like, oh, crap. Okay, let's get going. And it's like,
what was the point?
Yeah,
dude,
it's like, shut up, dude.
This stuff's not gonna matter if you're dead, if everybody's dead. I think preserving humanity would mean, oh, hey, we should make sure that humans survive this experience.
Yeah, especially on the planet that they actually did glass, and it was those like people in all the red garbs. I can't even remember what. Every time that I forget something, mind you, for anybody that's in the comments, anytime that I forget something, that's just how forgettable it is. If Master Chief is not on screen actively being who we all know him to be,
and it's pointless.
It's pointless. But it's so funny because they're like, we're not leaving here. We're not leaving here. This is our plan. And then they start just glassing it with super lasers, and they're like,
all right,
maybe we could relocate. It's like, oh my god, I hate you. It's so inconsistent, and you can tell that like it goes from one emotion to the other emotion to this emotion nothing is consistent. Nobody ever stands on what they say. It's just, well, this is needed in this scene, but then we're going to change it and change people's opinions for this scene. And it's so bad, man.
So then we get to the fighting sequence on the streets, which I thought, okay, this does look a little bit on the medium budget territory in terms of the fight sequences.
Yeah, what is this, Space Saving Private Ryan? Like, what are we doing?
I don't know. I don't mind it. I don't mind the fight sequences in this episode.
I don't mind it either, but it's the fact that it's like, it's just all the characters are not who they're supposed to be. Like, and it's
they're
it's
not
so
in armor,
bad.
and I think I kind of like, I get it. They're vulnerable. And I like the fact that they're vulnerable, but I think it would have been more of an impact if they were in armor and they couldn't even save it.
If you really want to make a good storyline, if you want to take away the one thing, if you want to get people disinterested in, the army, then make it obsolete. Yeah. They did that in the first Halo series. You know how expensive this gear is, son? Tell that to the Covenant. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, we understand it's not indestructible, but don't just throw it away for a plot device.
Yeah, and like, okay, actually, that's another thing, is that they don't get their armor in this episode.
Yeah.
Why did they ship their armor? So this is the big thing for me. Why did Oni, knowing the Covenant is coming, they leave, didn't tell anybody, and they're like, and you know what? We're taking this Mjolnir armor with us.
Yeah, like the one thing that helps you.
Fit to the Spartans.
Exactly.
That they're meant to go to. So it's like, so you're going to leave those particular Spartans on the planet without their armor. You're going to just take their armor, which is just kind of dead weight. And you know that these aliens are coming. Like, I get that Oni is this, they're like a selfish CIA, corrupted CIA.
Yeah, they're space intelligence, you know?
Space intelligence that's just corrupt to the bone. Kind of like the real CIA.
Yeah, kind of like that. We'll talk about that sometimes, CIA. No. We'll talk about that sometime, FBI. Anyway.
Now all of my devices are being tracked. Thanks a lot.
You see, like, the mess, they're like, hey, you got your location on real quick? I just want
is your phone on airplane mode?
Hey, bro, y'all doing a podcast right now? Yo, bro, can we stop by?
I think that'd be funny. I mean, like, Oni is kind of like no different than the CIA, but it's like the fact they didn't tell nobody. They kind of just up and left discreetly with the armor. And I'm like, bro, at least give them the armor so they could get evac people as much as they can. Like, where is this going? And also, what's the interest of their new boss? What's his name again?
Don't even remember.
I don't remember.
Don't even remember. That's how forgettable your show is, Paramount.
He has his dad who's dying, and he makes a flash clone of his sister who I guess died in the Spartan program. And she dies consistently throughout this season. I'm just like, why are
everybody's going to come in the comments and be like, oh, what? You don't know the lore? You don't know the lore behind it?
I
don't care about it.
It's not lore accurate. This never happened in the lore. Okay,
like, dude, your lore is stupid.
I do not think this happened in any of the books.
And even if it did, your lore is stupid.
I read the last, like, yeah, for real. The last time I did read a Halo book, I was in like junior high, so that was the Fall of Reach. That was a long time ago, bro.
A long time ago, yeah.
So they do this fight sequences on the streets, and it's interesting to watch because, like, you have the girl that's holding the Gatling gun, but it looks like it has no recoil. It just kind of got that, like, weird flashing at the end of the muzzle there. And I'm like, all right, this is kind of odd.
And anytime that, Soren, like, after the explosion of the only other male Spartan, I can't remember his name, but he explodes from the needler, and then it's like this quiet sequence of action, and then, like, you just see Soren come up, like, from an upshot, and he's like shooting the gun, but he's just doing this, and then you can see a flash, and I'm like, do you know how much recoil that has? Like, dude, what?
That scene. I will get to that scene. Also, they killed off the blind guy, as well as his lover.
There's so many unneeded characters
it's just like,
in this show.
You introduced this. I don't really know this character, and I don't care for him yet. And then you just, like, you killed him off like that. And I'm like, okay, like, I get the sacrifice, but, like, this has the same issue that Star Wars Episode 8 had. Like, I'm not going to feel sorry for the lady that flew the ship into the carrier thinking, oh, she wasn't all that bad.
There's
like,
no
I'm
investment.
not attached to this character. Yeah, exactly.
There's no investment.
So it's like, okay, so this guy sacrificed himself, and I don't care. Moving on.
Yeah, no,
I'm just being honest.
Also, why did jackals have energy swords? What is going on? But dude, this feels like a fever dream.
All right.
And then you took that fever dream and applied the same mechanics to a TV episode. You ever wonder how you have those really weird dreams and you're like, hey, that person's there. Hey, that person's there. Never met that person before. That's what it feels like.
Yes. So the jackals with energy swords, I get it. They're not following the lore. The jackals are like these dinosaur-sounding things now. I do want to move into the Halsey escaping scene. Matt, make We're just gonna call her Make from now on.
You're stupid. Nobody cares about you. Nobody wants you on this show. Anyway, Make.
I don't mind Make, but the love dynamic between her and Chief was really rushed, so that ruined the character for me. So
really pushing the incest there, huh, Paramount?
For her, they capture Cortana. We haven't had much screen time with Cortana yet. That's kind of a funny dynamic. So, and she's with the Arbiter, and Arbiter doesn't chase them down after cutting the glass. I was a little confused by that.
Yeah, it's just again, it's this whole thing of like
Dr. Halsey, run.
Yeah, run.
What? Okay, so and that's another thing is like, why are the Covenant after Cortana? I don't know yet. I'm kind of looking forward to see where that one goes.
Yeah, it's like I don't even.
Yeah.
It's been so hard trying to watch the series.
I'll be honest, like the Halsey sequence in this whole season 2, I haven't cared one bit for it.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's the silver timeline. It's different characters, and it's like you fundamentally misunderstand your own characters.
Like in season 1, like Halsey actually played kind of a role to it, and then like season 2, I'm like, I'm kind of getting bored of looking at Halsey. Can we like not watch her for a minute?
Season 1 is Space RoboCop. Yeah. It's just I'm trying to solve my own. Like in RoboCop, it's solving your own murder, and in this one, it's solving my own abduction. And it's like nobody cared when the video games came out. People just wanted to see Master Chief kick some butt.
Yeah, the tormenting with the Flash clone. The little
that's
girl.
Some weird stuff, bro.
I'm
dude, sorry.
Stop. That's so cringe. I don't like he's so butthurt about his sister dying in the Spartan program that you're just going to keep reminding her of it. It's just like, dude, stop.
It's so bad, man.
Stop.
It's so bad.
Stupid. This is stupid. But anyway, like that whole sequence, don't care for it. Next, the speech with Captain Keyes. I actually like that speech.
I like it as far as it's removed from context. It's
Keyes
awesome.
Is Captain Keyes to me in this
right?
franchise.
Yeah,
it's
like
this is accurate.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like I can't fault the actor. I think he does a good job of kind of conveying this still loyal to the UNSC cause and loyal to Oni cause of being kind of like he's in between. He follows orders to the letter. That I really like about that. I think it fits Captain Keyes' character really good, and I like the speech that he gave. I like the emotion that came with it. It sounded awesome. But it feels so undeserved and is such a weird topsy-turvy part of the episode where it's like, we're going to fight. This is our last stand. But everything around it is lore inaccurate. And it's like, what?
It's like, okay, and I like the speech that I do like the final stand. Like, hey, you guys are all going to die. You guys are going to face it, but you got to go out like Marines. It's like, all right, cool. We have like no way out of this, so let's make the best of it. They're doing the civilian evac upstairs. Sorry.
No, you're good. While you're doing that, I'll just put this little caveat in there. What are we doing trying to film the climax of a drama scene in the middle of an active invasion? There's 2 scenes going on at the exact same time, and both of them are like, well, this is something that I really need to tell you. And it's like, in the middle of an invasion? You couldn't let that wait till the spaceship? What?
I mean, there are movies that have done that, right? But like
none that are good in my opinion.
I don't think Halsey would care. Was that Halsey you're referencing, right?
Yeah, dude, and it's like this interpretation of Halsey is so weird because it's like
she's 343 not as cool as I want her to be, but she's not as heartwarming as they want her to be.
But that's the thing is I loved her cold standoffishness because she is like she's kind of like the glue. Like if you really want to know the architect of why the Spartan program even exists, it's because of Halsey and her kind of like unwavering coldness towards everything. And it's just like she is hellbound at any point to get this job done, to save the human race. She doesn't care how you feel about it, doesn't care what else going on. She is only worried about this one goal, and it's such a weird version of the character in this series.
And now I want to talk about the evac, right? Because like we got some tank action in this.
We finally got a Wraith.
We finally got the human tank, the M.
Yeah.
I forgot what they actually call it in the franchise. I'm not that huge on the lore.
Big old tank, man.
Big old gun.
Big old gunboat of hell.
Yeah, they're holding the Covenant off on the bridge. You know, am I the only one who thinks like the Covenant movement is not as graceful as the games? It's very brutish. It's very much like we go from like noble knight movement to bears running around in the forest.
There's
That's
a
what
lot
this
of
feels
like
you might as well be running on all fours.
yeah, it's kind of like the way that they do it, I think, is also kind of, I don't know whether it's either the screenwriters or if it's the VFX artist.
I was watching a Hidden Xperia review.
I was just
episode.
watching him. Yeah.
And he said kind of what I was thinking since season 1. It's just like they don't have that graceful walk or
no, they don't.
It's very brutish. It's almost too heavy.
And I think it's almost like a weird. It's like a PS2 video game type of motion almost. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is very like.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like there's not a lot of grace to it.
It's very slow in, slow out.
It reminds me of
they took the keys and they like brought them this close together.
Yeah,
so
it's like what is it? The movement that they have is like kind of reminiscent a little bit of like the action movement in the Clone War, like Star Wars: The Clone Wars. How it's like it's very like.
Yeah.
And every time they cross,
yes. That's what it feels like.
It's unnatural, but it's still like for me in the Clone Wars it still works, right? Because this is an animated show. Right, it works.
But in live action, it just looks weird.
In live action, it just looks so weird because, like, in the video games, jackals have almost like the grace of like a gazelle. It's the grunts who are all over the place, but even the grunts are like, you know,
they got a goofy movement to
yeah,
them.
they're little goofy goobers, and some of them are suicidal and like to blow themselves up. But you know how there was like almost no like grunt action except for like maybe a couple of the action scenes?
I've noticed that. It just seems to be like jackals, elites, and brutes. I'm like, I haven't seen a single grunt yet. Or wait, no, we have seen grunts. We have seen grunts in season 1.
We've seen grunts, but the thing is, it's like it's
for like
all
one episode, I think.
It's weird because it's all like Covenant elites, and I'm like, you know, that last word in their name should probably give you a little bit of a hint as to which enemy should go first in a battle of a major engagement. You know what I'm saying? Like Covenant elites, so they are basically the equivalent to the Spartans or the ODST, even past the ODSTs. But it's like
the grunts aren't anywhere to be seen. I would see them. I thought I would see them first, boots on the ground, just to kind of soften them up.
Yeah, and we also this season, or actually no, last season leading up to this, we got our first ever Brute appearance. That was kind of interesting.
What appearance?
Brute?
No, last season.
That's what I'm saying. Last season, on the last episode, we kind of got like one introduction to it, and it was.
They also had a fight sequence where the Brute took the artifact, and then it was just like that.
Yeah, it's
like,
I don't know.
Like the Brutes seem to be like these massive threats that are a little bigger, like huge in comparison to the games. I'm not very sure how that pans out, but we'll see.
Yeah, because aren't Brutes technically maybe a foot taller than elites?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Then you also have that scene, and this is the one I really want to hammer down on, is the evacuation ship. They're trying to load the civilians onto that ship. They have Ramirez. Was it Ramirez? Is that her name?
Perez. Yeah, Perez.
Oh, whoops.
It's okay. You're a forgettable character anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know the dynamic with her quite yet. The new love interest for Chief? Is that what this is? She seems young.
Dude,
she seems a little young for
Here's
that.
the problem. Here's the problem.
Jeez.
I don't even know if there's going to be another love interest because Mackie isn't dead.
Yeah,
she's not
that's
dead.
The other thing.
What are you guys doing? Storyboard writers, screen. What are you guys doing? What are we doing?
I don't know. Like Mackie took a magnum shot, and she's not dead.
And they're like, we brought her back. I was like,
for
what reason? She was obsolete and forgettable in the first season.
They're like huge rounds, bro. She pretty much just got shot by a deagle, and her arm wasn't amputated. That's kind of strange.
No, dude, it's so convoluted and backwards for me.
It's windy out there, isn't it?
Oh yeah, if you can hear it, we're probably gonna get a little bit of it. It's a little spooky out here.
I don't think it'll catch on these mics, will it?
I don't think so. I don't think it'll catch too much in these mics. But if you could hear it, you'd be spooky.
Back in October. So I do want to talk about that platform experience because this is the one scene that really got to me. The scene where the jackals it's like that one guy's like, "Do you hear that? I hear that." and it's like the jackals come on, and they just just start slaughtering everybody on sight. It doesn't matter. And when we get to the scene where they have to cut the fuel line from the ship, from the vessel, and then Captain Keyes decides to do it, and he's by himself on the platform eventually. And these jackals go from kill on sight to like just staring at Captain Keyes.
Whoa.
So
he's important over there. He's important
character.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Character. Make groans and dinosaur vocals.
Dude. I'm not gonna lie though, that sequence where they lurch onto the platform and then start attacking. I like how I'll give it again. I'll give you a positive. I like how long the scene was and how drawn out it was, because it was like they waited to cut to the other side, to the Marine side, after probably about 30 seconds, because it was like they're all coming, and I was like, okay, this would feel like an actual battle scene. If you saw that, the first thing you would do, unless you were trained, is not shoot. You'd freeze. So it's like it's cool to see that, but that's probably the only thing that I like.
I didn't like that the jackals froze up for Captain Keyes. Like they're surrounding him, and every other human has just been killed on sight, and Captain Keyes is just like, roar.
Yeah, no, dude. They're doing the whole. Hold on. They're doing the whole Leo DiCaprio thing from the last Quentin Tarantino movie. They're like, oh, right there, plot point. Can't kill him yet.
That's our guy.
Can't do it.
That's our guy. We're gonna surround him and not do anything with him.
Yeah, that one right there. Keep him right there. Okay.
Then he pulls that pipe out of his ass, and it's just like,
where did that come from?
It's like, so we go from like genocidal jackals to them freezing up all of a sudden because they see Captain Keyes. Captain Keyes is like, I have one of these from the games.
Yeah, he's like, hey, by the way.
And then the ship takes off, and I think what happens, the reason why the whole platform explodes is because the fuel line was still pumping fuel.
Makes sense, yeah.
All over. So when they lit the engines, it blew up the whole platform.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah. I had to rewatch that scene a couple times to understand really what happened.
Yeah, I actually had to watch it twice. I was just like, wait, why did everything blow up for a ship taking
Exactly.
off?
I was like, well, that's an awful big explosion for afterburners. This isn't NASA anymore. We've got like actual real propulsion devices. I don't know.
They've had Pelicans that have been able to take off where somebody's standing right here.
There's
like nothing happening.
Did you?
So why is this
Did you catch the part where they didn't call it a Pelican? They called it a Condor.
Well, the Condor is a different ship.
Did they get it mistaken, though? Because I'm pretty sure they got it mistaken.
I don't know. The Condor is based off the Halo 4 Pelican a little bit, but it's a bigger Pelican. It looks like it's a bigger Pelican.
Yeah.
It's like their version of the Millennium Falcon. That's what it is.
I hate this show.
Yeah. I don't mind it, but I'm like, okay, that's a pretty fat ship. What's its purpose? A gunship or not?
It's a pretty girthy spacecraft you got there.
Transportation device?
A girthy transportation device.
It's not a typical Pelican. That's where that's where it threw me off too.
It's just weird, man. There's just so many.
But that Captain Keyes death really ticked me off. I'm like,
none
of that made
Dude.
sense. Why did they just freeze? What you were like kill on sight 2 seconds ago. Why'd you stop?
I don't get it, man.
Stupid.
There's just so many things in this. Gotta lie. There's so many things in this show that are done conveniently for the plot that I know that all of the original creators of Halo, unless you guys have like deteriorated over the years, are probably rolling in your graves or in your nice sofa right now, because there's just so many things that have just been decided to happen in this show that go so contrary to the entire nature of the show itself and to Master Chief. And I, for one, am having so much harder of a time staying along with the show because it's just every episode is just a drag. It's like slogging through something.
So then we have the engagement in the hallway. That's what... And this is another thing that ticked me off, right? It's like Master Chief is facing the Arbiter, and he's going 1-to-1. I'm like, yes, this is cool. Yes. And then all of a sudden, like, he picks up the energy sword. I'm like, yes.
And you're like, oh, finally.
Yes. And then that other elite kind of just shoots him with the plasma pistol, and the Arbiter cuts his head off. And I'm like, That was so stupid.
I know.
I didn't laugh at that. Everybody on the internet seemed to have laughed. I'm not judging you guys because I guess it's semi-funny. But I was thinking to myself, they just totally robbed that epic sequence from me.
Yeah, epic moment,
and I don't
gone.
like that. I did not appreciate it.
The only thing that I did like is kind of like the attitude of the elites at that point being like, what the fuck are you, bing, and just like knocked him off. Because it's not even like, for me, it's not funny. That's like a natural, like, yeah, you screwed up. You're going to die now. You big death, big die now.
I wanted a sword fight.
That's what I wanted.
I wanted a sword fight, and then you robbed me of my sword fight. And I don't know if you're going to bring it back in a later episode, but I wanted it right then and there.
Oh, dude, it would have been awesome. You would have, like, captured at least a little bit more interest. The only thing that I will say is that the VFX department, again.
Especially since, like, you're selling that Chief doesn't have his armor. He's
more
vulnerable. I'm like, no, if you're going to do this, if you're going to do the sword fight, this has got to be it. This is like that Zorro.
I was going to say it was going to remind me, if it happened, it was going to remind me of, I can't remember which scene it was, but it's a scene in Halo Wars, the original, where they're coming upon, I think it's like, it's the one where they're on the bridge.
Oh,
and
he's mine.
Yeah, and they just go, and I'm like, this is really cool, bro. And I was waiting for that moment, and then it never happened, and I was like, all right, never mind. The only thing that I will say, though, is the VFX for that particular shot of the Covenant cutting the other elites' head off.
That was pretty cool.
Dude, did you notice that it never fully fell off?
Yeah.
He cut it, like, right here up into the point where it's like...
It had some skin on it.
Yeah, where it just peeled back, and then he fell, and I was like, okay, that's dope.
And
that's dope.
They got the blood in there, too. Like, it wasn't fully cauterized.
Yeah, dude, I was like, okay, that's dope. That's really dope. That was cool. You're.
But I hate.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like a thing that I have a love-hate relationship with. It's like, okay, the VFX are cool, but you robbed me of my sword fight.
Exactly. You're like, it's
and
really awesome, but
and I hate you for it.
Exactly.
It's like I would rather take the Zorro sword fight. I would rather take the spar.
Yeah, dude.
And
like
you robbed me of it. That was the one thing that got me so angry. I'm like, why are we doing this? Stop. So this is like,
for real. Yeah.
This is what the rest of the franchise has an issue with. It's like some sequences. Yes. No, dude. What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, it's getting interesting. Oh, wait. Are they gonna do something? Nope. Never mind. I'll go back to being depressed.
Like that.
I'll go back to being depressed.
Like that. I feel like I'm wasting my time.
This entire show has been a waste of my time.
I was like sick while watching this episode.
Oh yeah.
And after watching it, I was like, I'm gonna go for a walk.
You get done with the episode, you're like, yeah, I gotta. It's time to. Where's the nearest ravine? Where can I just drown myself in sediment, please? Oh, there go my
We're
Captain
in Washington.
Keys.
We're in the same place as 343.
Hey, there go my Captain Keys.
Oh, hold up. I got my Captain Keys right here too. Here.
I hate you people. Genuinely, from me to you, I do hate you. I hate you taking IPs and then just destroying them for whatever reason. I don't know why you do it. I don't know why you think you can do it better than the original source material.
I got to be really careful not to scratch the car over there.
You're like, yeah, well, here's my Captain Beer Can. Just like dome the Charger over there.
Yeah, Captain Keys went out like a freaking Captain Gasoline bucket.
Captain Keys is...
Okay, all right. So, like, this is where we finally move on. Like, this is a new franchise. Captain Keys is dead before we ever go to the first race. I like
okay.
I like how we just, like, focused on, like, okay, what is this death, bro? Like, this is so weird. And now we're just like, wait, so what happens in the first game now?
It's like, so how are you going to patch this up, idiot? How is that even going to happen?
So,
what are you going to do?
So, is he not going to get assimilated into the flood? Like, that was the highlight of the first game is Captain Keys' flood. And, like, for the grave mine.
Exactly. Like,
proto-grave mine. I will get my facts right.
Yeah,
I know the lore. Drake didn't know the lore. I know the lore.
Drake doesn't know the lore.
The one reel that somehow got all the attention.
Of course. Well, that's what we've been talking about. We just got to be consistent and keep posting reels, and then it'll happen.
If you actually look at our reels, it's like 8,000, 2,000, 200. And then that one reel is like 500,000 views. And I'm like,
exactly.
Okay, like, why does the one reel with the guy that didn't know or read the books, like, how come this one gets all the attention? I'm not bashing Drake for it, right? It's like, okay, yeah, because like Halo lore it's a lot to consume.
Oh, it's a lot. Yeah, I had to. I'm still brushing
Halo
up.
follower for a reason.
Yeah, and it's like I'm still brushing up on the lore. I mean, back when I was still playing the games, dude, I could quote you like scripture. Bro. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, even then, this is a testament to the show.
The show and the games, the direction that they've both gone, have really made me stop caring for the lore. And then my brother introduced me to Warhammer, and that started fixing everything.
Oh, dude, Warhammer is so cool.
So much lore.
I don't even know about the Warhammer lore, but it's like, from what I've heard, it's like Lord of the Rings level lore for like Warhammer.
It runs deep. It runs deep.
Runs deep.
Like,
it's deep.
You know, it's actually what I've been kind of replacing over Halo at this point. I'm kind of waiting for Henry Cavill to release his Netflix Warhammer series.
Oh my God! Can I tell you just how? Like, I'm not even a super huge Warhammer fan.
To be honest, I think I'm gonna wrap up the Halo segment portion right here.
Yeah,
it's just because, like, okay, I give this episode like a 6. This is a 6 for me. Like, this is not. Just because the direction of the whole franchise and where we've been going. I don't know, dude.
I give it like a solid 3, just because of the action scenes. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
I don't know. Like, there were other reviewers online that gave it like a solid 7s, 8s, and 9s, and I'm like,
I'm sorry. It's just,
I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about this whole franchise anymore. I don't know how I feel about this TV show, and like, I love those critics too. I just have very strong emotions to the OG Halo games and art style and presentation and dialogue, and I feel like it's all been botched.
Yeah, and that's kind of my thing. Is like, I think, especially for a lot of reviewers out there, I think they're also losing the sense of the frame in which to look at this series.
Not all of them. I think EFAP very much has like a really good.
Yeah, EFAP's got it. Angry Joe's got it. Hidden Xperia's got it. I think the main thing that I have is, like, when people talk about the show being good, it's because they're framing it in the sense of a show. They're not framing it in the sense of everything that came before it. And that's my thing. Is like that's that stupid little cop out that you guys have.
And like, I get it's a reboot, but it's not a very good reboot. It's like a 5.
Well, and here's my thing. When I say stupid little cop-out...
It's a sci-fi show. It's like a modern sci-fi show with a Halo skin on it.
Exactly.
That's what this show is.
And when I say stupid little cop-out, I'm not talking about the reviewers. I'm talking about the showrunners themselves, talking about this is a silver timeline, this is a different timeline with the same things.
I don't care.
Then why would you... Here's my thing. If this is a different timeline, why would you simply just call the show Halo?
So
why don't you just call it, like, Halo Divergence or, like, Halo Supremacy or something that lets us know that this is not the original Halo.
The advertisement is very much selling it like it is OG Halo.
Exactly, and that's my problem. You can tell whatever story you want as long as you're not trying to rewrite the original, which is what you are doing.
I have to be caught up with social media to know that this is like a silver timeline, blue timeline. I'm not very sure what timeline.
I really don't care. You guys are destroying people's childhoods, so I don't like you. I don't like you.
You are more like, dude. You are genociding this franchise.
I genuinely don't like when companies do this.
I love it.
I hated when Marvel did it. I hated when DC did it, and Paramount.
I want to be a little bit. I'm trying to be a little bit forgiving of it, but I can't.
One of Sun Tzu's rules of war: if you're going to destroy your enemy, do it completely and totally.
Yep.
Because here's the thing: the reason why this is happening is because it's looked at as a cash grab. If this was not a cash grab, I guarantee you, if Halo had no money in it and had the dwindling fan base, Paramount, as you say that they had, which is why you had to expand it to a broader audience.
Fan base.
That's what they said.
We just want good Halo content for us to spend our money on it.
Dude, if you made a good Halo series, do you know how fast I would buy anything that's connected to you guys? That's probably a lesson that you should take in and internalize. Because here's the thing. When you take these select series and then you completely change the support structure that these things were built on, you completely change the foundation, you've lost not only your credible fan base, but you've lost your own credibility as well. I want to be able to have you as a streaming platform. You have Mission Impossible on there and all the other obscure movies that I can't find anywhere else. But I'm not going to support you simply because, oh, well, we have Halo. You have a corrupted, stupid version of Halo.
Okay, but I'm going to be real with you. Paramount's not the only one with this issue.
Exactly.
They're not. It's all of Hollywood filmmaking, and this
really is.
Like I said, I'm wrapping up the Halo thing from there. I'm not. Halo doesn't catch my interest like it used to.
Well, that's the thing is like,
and I will forever cherish the OG games, the OG timeline, the OG story, especially Halo 2 and 3.
Oh my
gosh!
Dude, talk about.
We are never gonna get that back.
Not unless we do it. Not unless we do it.
Yeah, who's we? It's got to be the fan. Look, if there's gonna be anybody that directs a Halo franchise and do it right and lore accurate, it would have to be Hidden Xperia.
Dude, it would be
and Halo followers.
Exactly.
I don't know, like those guys, like people that are actually built their whole base on the franchises that they love.
And here's the thing that I'll say. You can tell me that a fan base doesn't, they're not always correct. Yeah, but they're about 95% correct.
I'm not
about
sure
95% of the time.
Is like a movie director, right? Because like you can't just give somebody that's not a director just like full rights to a AAA franchise.
Well,
right?
you can't give them rights necessarily. Yeah,
I get it. There's like some filtering process, but what I'm saying is that I'd rather give these TV shows and this content and these licenses to people that are passionate about their projects and that respect it. Like, it's so short because I don't.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of the show. I'm just
no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm certainly not.
It's not my thing. It's not my thing. I'm not a.
Like, that's the thing is, I am, at least for myself, I consider myself a Halo fan. I may not be who I once was in terms of extreme highs of being a Halo fan, but it's like I can still recognize like BS when I see it. You know what I'm saying?
I think things that have done Halo better in live action was like Forward Unto Dawn. That was a short film.
Yeah, that wasn't as bad. I thought that was done quite well for a short film. I liked it.
There was like the Delivering Hope trailers for the third game. Those were badass.
Those are always awesome.
And the ODST trailer. I'm trying to remember. Landfall. That's what it's called. Halo Landfall. That sequence was what Halo the show should have been.
I can't even place right now. I'm blanking. Landfall. Explain Landfall real quick. Is it just a short clip?
It's this whole action sequence right here.
And and we could probably just like do the same thing over there.
Yeah.
On the screen.
I'll edit it in.
Nice.
You've never seen this?
I think I have, but it's been years.
This whole opening sequence is badass.
Ooh.
This is going to be a React segment right here.
Exactly.
Yep.
This is the start of our React channel. Okay, this is nice. I like this.
The guy who directed... I think so,
No way.
I'll do my research and I'll post it in the video, but...
Oh, that looks really, really good.
This is a trailer for the third game, I think.
Oh, that's sick.
Just wait till he gets to the fighting portion.
I have seen this, but it's been so long. Okay, yeah, let's re-react to this. This is...
The Marines look like Marines.
Actually. Ooh, that's tough, bro. That's tough. We got the Magnums.
There's been more Halo effects and CG assets in this one trailer than I've seen in the entire franchise.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. And this just looks so much better. And this is like, what? When did this come out? This was probably
early 2000s.
Early 2000s? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Halo 3, so around like 2006, 2007.
Yeah, around that timeline.
Oh my god, dude, it's been over a decade. Yes,
Yeah.
this scene. Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot about this scene. I do remember this scene. Yeah. Bro, how are they able to make a more, like, engaging action sequence with a shaky cam? Mind you,
this is very District 9 vibes.
it does have a lot of District 9 vibes. You're right. 'Cause it's, and, you know,
but look at these action sequences with just the Marines.
with just
And
them.
I feel like the VFX in this look better than the Paramount show.
And you can look at, like, the gun mechanics themselves look so much more realistic, not just in terms of, like, muzzle flare,
not like
but, like, in
somebody shaking a
mechanics.
gun in their hand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is always a cool
Cinematography
sequence.
is very much District 9, and the guy, I think it's the same guy that made The Creator, the new movie, The Creator
Really?
that's come out. Yeah.
No way.
Well, he wasn't on this project, but what I'm saying is that the style looks very much like it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
This is so sick, man.
I'm already.
I
more
love
in-
this sequence right. That's really good. I like that
It's
kind
like
of.
we're starting to get a little bit hopeless.
Yeah, yeah. But like, look at how good that looks, though.
Insane that this is probably a lower budget than.
Oh,
the
I
other-
mean, look at the VFX for like the brutes. It's incredibly low budget, but dude, that is so cool, bro. What the?
Paramount couldn't do that.
You could never do this in a million years.
You can't do it. You don't know what this.
You don't know how to
vibe
do
is.
this.
You don't know how to capture this. This is where you're going wrong.
I don't see how you can hate from outside of the club. You can't even get in.
Like the brute.
Can you do your job? You got a spike it. Can you do your job? Yeah, dude, this just looks. It looks
Until the
really
chief
good, dude.
breaks
Look
through.
at this. Look at this like break like for night vision. I love how blurry it is.
Season 1 should have started out right here.
Yeah, get rid of all the
Like-
humans. I
like-
don't care about
no,
you
no, no,
guys.
no,
Get rid of
the-
the humans. Do this.
Do this. Do the UNSC struggling to fight these guys, and then introduce the Chief Hope.
Exactly, because if you notice, the entire vibe of Halo 1, 2, and 3 is
I
we
love
are in
this
an
scene.
active
I
war.
love this scene. I love this scene. This guy's gonna get walled.
Oh! That was a nice little transition. I like that. That is beautiful. I love that, dude.
The depiction of warfare feels like it's real warfare with an alien threat. That
It gives
you
a
can't
lot
stop.
more. Yeah, it gives a lot more like realistic vibes to
So
it.
originally, this was supposed to be either a movie or a TV show, if I have my facts right, and it
Oh,
fell
dude.
through because
Bro.
of creative differences.
If they just made this, it would have been all over.
This is what Halo should have. This is what the show really should have been.
Yeah, dude, and even the lagging, like, ooh, nice, bro.
I feel like we're in Saving Private Ryan right here.
This really gives kind of like a super hectic Warzone vibe, and I love it. That's fucking dude. That is crazy.
So I'm gonna pause it right.
Taking a circular saw, you're like, yeah, sorry, this is the only way that I can get the spike out of your
I'm
arm.
gonna pause it right here, and then I'm gonna show the camera this so I can come back to it. I think why he's screaming when they're cutting that thing off
It's
with like
vibrating inside of his arm.
Yeah, it's vibrating inside of his arm, but it's also the friction. It's heating it up as it's cutting it.
I mean, I wouldn't say that unless.
You know how like wood warms up when you cut it with the saw?
Of course, but like not the
this is-
entire stick of
No,
wood,
not
though.
the entire stick of wood, but like I think it's also like it's the violent vibrations mixed with it getting a little hot.
And maybe a little bit of the heat. Definitely the vibrations.
Boy, it's wild.
Oh, it's spooky outside.
Getting back, they're about to crash to Earth. Paramount can't do it.
And this was on like an 82nd of the budget.
The Phantoms look better.
Yeah, the Phantoms look
in this
sick.
early 2000s trailer. $10 million for an episode. I want to know what the budget of this film was.
Yeah, that would be really cool. If anybody in the comments knows, let us know the budget of this particular film.
So it's 6 minutes.
But it's so good, though.
It sold me. I'm sold. All right, that's it.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Earlier work in the 2000s did a much better job than what we're getting on current TV right now.
And here's one of my favorite parts. If we can talk about this for a little bit, there's a reason why Tron Legacy looks better stylistically and from a environment standpoint than almost any other film out there. One is because
Tron Legacy is one of the coolest looking films.
So cool.
It still stands out.
Oh yeah,
the 100%. By Daft Punk, was it?
Daft Punk, yeah. Daft Punk. That soundtrack is still one of my favorite soundtracks ever created. It's probably the most. I have the entire thing on. I bought the entire soundtrack of that movie when it came out on my iPod.
It's called Flynn's Death, I think, or Flynn's something.
It's like a Adagio for Tron is kind of like the fall when they're in the middle of the street in the intersection having a coup.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's amazing.
I think Hollywood has really lost its way. Disney let Tron go too soon.
There's so much potential with Tron.
There's so much potential with Tron.
Oh, but it's niche. It's not going to get to a modern audience.
Animation with like the ultra long limbs.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm like,
aside from that,
what are you guys
Tron
doing over
Uprising
there?
is fire. Anybody who's watched Tron Uprising, it's fire.
Yeah.
But the animation style is really weird.
The corporate intervention with these franchises has been the biggest stab in its side for a lot of franchises.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with deadlines. There's nothing wrong with budgets. There's nothing wrong with schedules. And there's nothing wrong with creative decisions. But the second you think that you start knowing more than the people that are passionate and created this, that know everything that you're trying to convey,
I'm tired
you're going to lose.
People that are not fans, like actual fans, not people that say that they're fans, that are genuine fans.
Exactly.
Making these projects.
Yeah.
That's what I have an issue with. Like, oh, we haven't played the games for Halo. That's not something to boast about. That's not something you should just
what do you think that gives you brownie points?
That makes you sound like a
dude,
like,
and it's so disrespectful.
Do you not see the way you look? Are you not self-reflective of like what that makes you look like?
That's what
Cocky.
I'm saying.
It's very cocky.
Exactly. It's like, well, we don't need to play the video games to do it. Do you realize that when Lord of the Rings was being filmed,
I'm going to make a movie about the Bible that stars Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Bro.
Yeah. No.
Bro.
Stop it.
When Lord of the Rings was in process of being filmed, especially even, I think it was most of the actors on top of Sir Ian McKellen, God rest his soul.
Wait, hang on. Test. Okay.
Yeah, still there. On top of Sir Ian McKellen, God rest his soul, one of the greatest actors to ever grace television, along there with like Christopher Lee and a bunch of other of the titans in this industry. He read all of the books cover to cover, and he was going back and forth creatively. Same thing with Christopher Lee. Both of them read those books cover to cover and were going back between different scenes creatively how they wanted to approach these scenes because both of them knew the lore. Both of them knew it completely.
You see, that's the issue that we have with modern directors and modern actors. They don't know who they're depicting. They've read the script and they've been told how to behave.
Yeah. And it's just there's so many problems with the modern take of film right now because a lot of it is we're scared to go in big directions. Unless it's like, you know, debauchery included and stuff like that. We're scared to go in different directions. But on top of that, it's like if they're not too busy trying to include basically softcore porn into every single TV show, they're also just taking IPs.
I'm fed up with that.
That's why I couldn't watch.
I'm getting so fed up with like nudity in the TV shows. I don't want to see that.
Well, in TV shows and movies, and it's like I can't I'm sure Game of Thrones is really, really good up until the last season. I know the feelings around the last season for Game of Thrones fans. I know you guys hated it.
Did you watch it?
No. Because here's the thing.
You're entering into some dangerous territory.
Here's what I'm saying. Because I know that the entire fan base hated the last season. But what I'm saying is, as far as, and I don't care if you guys agree with this or not, nudity in every single episode and almost every single scene is not needed for a show to be able to grow or expand or make it more interesting. It's not. It's just not. If you can't make a good story without including basically softcore porn in your show, you're a bad storyteller.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Like if you don't agree with that, that's on you.
I'm coming at it with more of a Christian perspective. I just don't want to see it in my movies.
That's what I'm saying. It's like dude, we have enough of it in our modern culture anyway.
You don't I get it. For most people, like the people that support it, they just want to see the eye candy. That's all it is. It's eye candy.
Yeah.
And you can use it as like a storytelling device, but it's one of the weaker storytelling devices you can use.
It really, because it's like
it's one of the weakest. It's not the best one. If you are limited to showing naked people, right? And I'm not saying that they are.
Yeah, no, not all the time, no.
I don't think it's necessary.
No.
And I don't think it's the fact that there's like big budget content, like that's what it has to show.
Yeah.
I wish there was big budget content that didn't show it at all.
Yeah, because
I get the argument. It's like if you don't like it, don't watch it. It's like okay, but when everybody has it, there's a problem.
There's a problem with it.
There's a huge issue. You're not.
That's my thing. Is like you can tell stories without it. And I know that we're going to have people in the comments, well, what about superhero characters that are scantily clad? Were you okay with that? There's a difference between having literal porn in your shows and a little bit of sex appeal. I will go toe to toe with you on that discussion, and I'll be willing to cede my points if you have a really good point on it. But we're discussing this from the point of literal open nudity in a show for no reason. Like just during, like I remember watching some of the first season and watching some of the scenes. I can't remember who it was, but they're in this giant room, like in this throne room, and there's just people making out and basically having sex next to them as they're having a conversation.
I find it very degenerate.
Yes, very degenerate.
I do find. I feel like it's like, dude, what are you trying to do here?
It's
I feel like it's not necessary to have a good story, and people are, I guess the veil is uncloaked, right? Because now that more people are doing it, everybody's doing it. It's okay.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Somehow it's just okay. And I'm like, okay, dude, come on. I don't want to. And there's a lot of reasons I've stopped watching a lot of TV.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, for any of you to dispel, I'm not innocent in all this. I'm a hypocrite. I have my own struggles and personal struggles and all that stuff. Anybody can call out something that's wrong with the world or wrong in a particular subject.
Dude,
what matters is how you deal with it. And for me, like, I know that I'm not infallible in this, but even I
feel like it's very shallow.
Yeah, it's very shallow to have something in your story that really doesn't pertain or wouldn't add to the story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you have a romantic comedy and then all of a sudden one of the characters just carries around a sword, why are you having him carry around a sword in a story that doesn't even need it? Like, it's just a mismatch of things that don't really go together in a show. And especially for nudity and all that stuff. Maybe there's a place and time for it in some form or fashion, but I can't see it. I just can't.
I think this is like also going with like, I think that also gets political with like the porn movement and like.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like dude, porn addiction's a real thing at this point.
Yeah.
And like, I guess there's a lot of people. Like, I'm not one of these guys, dude. Mm-hmm. But
I mean, I've struggled with this certainly in the past. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that struggle with this as an
100%.
Issue. Like, I think there are like studies now that like people can't get turned on without it, and it gets more demented in order to get like.
Well, and the reason why is because whether people want to admit it or not, I had to admit to this to myself, at a certain point. But whether people want to admit it or not, porn is just the same thing as any other addiction. It's a dopamine rush.
Yep.
You're doing something to get something out of it.
It's a lot of brain damage too.
Yeah, because it changes your perception of kind of the female statute of how do I view women. That's one of the big things that I've seen that at least porn does for a lot of people, and I'm not innocent at all in this at all.
Property.
It objectifies them to almost no end.
Yeah, it's like do whatever you want, and I just don't. It's dehumanizing. It's very dehumanizing to me.
Oh yeah.
I don't find it attractive. I don't find it appealing. I'm like, this is really messed up.
Yeah.
This is and it's seeped into the culture, and now it's in all the TV shows.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing is like
I'm getting afraid of it. I'm genuinely like I don't have that issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to say I'm a saint or anything, right?
Yeah, no.
It scares me. It scares me where the culture is how hard the culture is pushing it.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a mass desensitization to, all the stuff that is supposed to be societally unacceptable.
I feel like these are the same people that advocate for it would be the same people that'd be okay with like, yeah, you know what? We should just walk around in public naked at this point.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. You're demented. You're delusional. I'm sorry. You are. You really are. If you think that you could just
worthy.
Yeah, exactly. People talking about, well, it's in the DSM-5. That doesn't mean that. I'm sorry. If the DSM-5 ever said it's okay to walk around publicly nude, I'm not listening to it anymore.
I would say no to that still.
Like, I'm sorry, bro. It is what it is, man. Like, yeah. And here's the thing, and I am a hypocrite 100% because, I do this type of stuff in my music because it's something that I've done before, or something, or embellishment because, it's part of the stuff that I like to be able to incorporate into music. But at the same time, I can still say, hey, I think I have a problem, and I think I need to solve it at some point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know when that is, but to simply say to somebody, like, well, you can't do it, you're doing it as well. It's like, yeah, but I can still raise awareness to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have my own struggles, but it doesn't mean that I still can't be like, hey, this is probably wrong,
Yeah. Man. I just want it out of my TV shows, man.
Just want good stories, man. I never had this when the Justice League show was on. Ooh. I think the audio's still recording.
Everything's still recording.
I think so. Wait, is it recording over there?
Yeah, it is. There's a red outline.
Bet.
It's windy outside.
Yeah, it's very
Washington.
windy.
It's
how long have we been going so far? Do we know how long we've been going?
I don't know.
Let's see. Hold on, chat. We're taking a break.
Long time. Very long time. All right, I'm going to stop recording.
Okay, cool. Do we want to just end the podcast there? Just do like a little outro section and then...